541, thanks for sticking with us this morning. It is tax day across the country, and the deadline to file your income taxes during the busiest part of the tax season. The Trump administration is laying off thousands of IRS workers.
Yeah, this news comes as the agency processes tens of millions of tax returns, payments, and refunds. And joining us live this morning from Washington, D.C. is our friend Joe St. George.
Guys.
Good morning, Joe. So as some people, they're filing their taxes today. They waited till the last second, literally. Some people are waiting for refunds. Yeah. Are these cuts at the IRS going to have an impact on them?
Well, potentially. For the moment, right, I think it depends on your definition of what a delay is. If you filed your taxes last week and you still don't have your refund check, you may think that is a delay, but it's always been pretty normal for there to be a bit of some lag time between filing your taxes and getting the check into your checking account. Tax experts have said that despite all of the changes at the IRS, remember, they've had 3 different bosses since January. Thousands of employees have either been fired, a lot of them quit, resigned, retired, took those buyout offers. Despite all of that, tax experts have said not any significant delays right now with refunds. Again, we'll have to see what happens after the tax filing deadline passes later today. One interesting tidbit, it's first reported in the Washington Post, guys, is the IRS may bring in less money this year, and that's for a couple different reasons. One is fewer employees may mean fewer audits. That means those fewer checks that come in down the line. We've talked a lot about the IRS in recent weeks and months. People may try to be creative, dare we say, with their tax filing this year and not put in the proper numbers when they're filing their own taxes. That's a concern. And there's also been some policy changes. For instance, the Department of Homeland Security and the IRS are now information sharing when it comes to possible deportations. That was a big change because undocumented immigrants in this country, many of them pay taxes, even though they don't benefit from all the benefits of paying taxes. Now there is this belief, certainly in immigrant advocacy groups, among immigrant advocacy groups, that fewer undocumented immigrants will file taxes going forward out of fear that that information may be shared with Homeland Security. So we'll wait and see. Guys, happy tax day if you celebrate on this Tuesday.
Yeah, less chance of an audit. I think people might be actually cheering that. Something to smile about on tax day, maybe. Want to keep talking a little bit about immigration this morning, Joe, and President Trump's battle over his immigration policy of mass deportations. What did we learn after Trump's meeting with the president of El Salvador on Monday? Some developments there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of developments on the immigration front, and we keep following it because we know that there's a lot of people in Wisconsin. The reason they voted for President Trump was the economy and immigration, right? Those were the 2 big issues that kept popping on poll after poll throughout the 2024 election. So regarding the story of one man, his name is Kilmar Abrego Garcia of Maryland. For weeks, the Trump administration had said that he had been wrongfully deported. An administrative error is what one lawyer with the Justice Department said, that he wasn't supposed to go and be sent to El Salvador. There was, after all, a court order from 2019 put in place saying that he should not be deported back to El Salvador over fear of possible violence. Well, that has been a 180. He, remembers, continues to sit, Mr. Garcia, he continues to sit in El Salvador prison. El Salvador known for some of the harshest prison conditions in the Western Hemisphere. Well, in the last 20 hours or so, Trump administration officials have danced around this, and they blamed the Justice Department lawyer, called him a Democrat, say there was no administrative error. This person was supposed to be sent back. President Trump indicating that he's not going to request for this individual to be returned to the U.S., and El Salvador said, we're not going to send Mr. Garcia back to the United States. So there has been some dramatic changes on that front. A number of lawmakers are saying, well, this is concerning because President Trump could now, in theory, send anyone he wants to El Salvador and wash his hands of it and say they don't need to bring him back to a place perhaps like Milwaukee or Wisconsin down the line. Additionally, one other piece of updated news regarding immigration, guys. Remember, President Trump is trying to unwind a program that allows for about 500,000 or so Haitians, individuals from Nicaragua, from Cuba, from Venezuela to stay in the United States. President Trump wants that program ended. He wants those people deported. He doesn't think the Biden administration properly vetted them. Last night, a federal district judge blocked President Trump from doing doing just that. Another temporary ruling against the Trump administration when it comes to immigration. A lot to keep track of. We do our best each morning to do just that, guys. You
do always keep track of everything going on in Washington, Joe. We appreciate that. We'll see you next week.
We try. A lot of stuff.
We're lucky to have you.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Busy. All right. Thanks, Joe.